Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV with me, your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host Josh Summersgill.
On today's podcast, we have local legend Andy Heaton. I think he was CrossFit Warrington's most hated man at one point, which we're going to ask him about.
God.
Yeah. But he's also done some super cool stuff, going from CrossFit to running 100-mile races.
Up hills,
yeah, vertical, just vertical. So I'll ask him a few questions about that, and then when we get, so I'll pass it over to Andy to explain how he got into training and how he found CrossFit initially, and see where we go from there. So, Andy lad, how did you get into CrossFit for a start?
I got into CrossFit. Adam Platt got me into CrossFit.
Adam Platt, what a guy. We need him
Yeah,
on
so,
the podcast.
Yeah, you need to get him on because he's cool. But so we're both training, just doing the regular gym stuff. And he said to me one day, "Oh, have you seen CrossFit?" I was like, "No, I've not seen that." He was like, "Oh, I bet you couldn't do it. It's well too hard." So then, so obviously, I got on the YouTube and watched every single video that possibly was. And that was a long time ago, though. That was before CrossFit Warrington. There was no CrossFit in Warrington, so I had to go to CrossFit Faction, which was in Widnes.
Yeah.
And that was probably the only one. There was 3D in that in Manchester, but local CrossFit Faction was the closest. So I went there, not a clue what was going on. And yeah, so that was where I first started in Widnes, and it went from there.
Awesome. So when I started CrossFit, you were the first person I knew that I thought was good at CrossFit.
Yeah, I was probably the first person in Warrington to do CrossFit, really.
Because when you got when I started at Warrington, I remember being like, why is he putting up such good scores? How the fuck's he doing that?
Yeah.
And I remember doing, what was the workout that we did together? It was the 400 meter. I think it was Nancy. I think it was the 400 meter running overhead squats.
Yeah.
And you were doing this narrow grip overhead squat, and I was like, "That's cool as fuck." I'm
there,
like this.
I know, yeah. It's weird though, because I don't know where all that came from. Like, I think because I came into CrossFit like a little skinny rake. Because before that I was like doing a lot of cycling, so I was proper skinny. Dead, really fit though, but like weak as hell. And so I think I had mobility. Like, I see you guys going to CrossFit now from like rugby and stuff. They're massive already.
Yeah.
And they can't overhead squat, they can't clean, they can't snatch because they're just already so big. So it's like they're hindered from day one. Whereas I was so skinny that like all those kind of movements that required mobility, I was just like fine with straight away. Yeah. So that was quite lucky, really.
Yeah. But
and then also,
all I got from that is that you're Phil's poster boy.
Well, yeah.
I've got what's Andy doing written on my wall.
No, that was Tom Blay. Tom Blay had that written on his wall.
Tom Blay did have that written on his wall at one point.
Yeah, he was just. I think he's still got it written on there, but I'm retired now.
So
yeah.
You don't do much CrossFit now. You do a little bit, I believe, but not like.
No, well, I mean, I've not done any since last year now.
Right. Okay. So what are you doing now then? Go through.
Well, at the moment, I'm doing nothing. Yeah, it's bad. I'm the most unfit and the weakest I've ever been, like ever. It's bad. So yeah, because I got into the ultra running, and then.
As you do.
Yeah, well, I know that snowballed as well. Everything I get into just snowballs, like CrossFit and ultra running. So one of my friends, Tom Bradley, who's from, I trained with in Manchester, he was always into his running. I was never into running. Like if there was a CrossFit workout with running in 400 meters, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I just hated running. So, and he was dead into it. So he kind of got me into it, and it kind of like grew from there. And I'd do like a bit of running with him, and then he was like, "Let's go and run in the mountains." So I went with him, and then he was like, "Right, let's do a half marathon." Did a half marathon, a marathon, 50k, and then it got to the point where we had to try and outdo each other every time. So like he did a 50k, I did a 100k, And then it was like, right, let's just both run the 100-mile race together and see what happens. So we did that, and then after that, I was fucked. Like, sorry if I don't know how to swear, but
No, you're allowed. Don't worry.
I literally, I couldn't train, couldn't do anything. It just absolutely killed me. It was so hard. So then, so I had like 3 months of doing nothing, and then to get back into training after 3 months of nothing is so bad. So
can we just sort of bring it back to that 100-mile race?
Yeah.
So that's like, people don't know, like almost 4 marathons back to back.
Yeah, it wasn't just that, because we were into the trail running. It was in Switzerland, so in the Alps. So you've got like 100 mile on the flat would be pretty hard, but when it's in the Alps, it's like, seriously. So you'd be going uphill for 4 hours at a time, and it was just like, oh god, it was killer.
So come on, I want to know the story there, because like a fucking 100-mile race in Switzerland. So like, where did it start, and like how long did it take? And
the only thing I want to know is, did he beat his mate?
Well, yeah, my mate didn't finish, unfortunately.
Mate's still up there in the mountains, aren't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think he wished he was, because I just like literally every time I see him now, I just absolutely rinse him for not finishing it. And, but it was tough. Like, he got halfway and he fell over and like cracked his head open across there. So they pulled him out the race. He wasn't allowed to run because he had to go to hospital and that. But I can't tell you how tough it was. So like, through the night, you're on your own in the middle of the Alps, because I think about 80 or 90 people entered the race. So obviously over 100 miles, you're going to be spread out. It's not as though the London Marathon, you're with people the whole way.
Yeah.
So it's in the middle of the night in the middle of the Alps, just knackered, 80 miles in, and it's just like, oh my God, this is just horrific. And it's not as though you can just stop. You can't just like, all right, I'm done now. You've got to get to the end at that point.
Yeah.
Because it's a big loop. You can't just, quit, and you don't know where you are, and it's just horrific. Yeah.
So even if you want to quit, you really can't, because
you can't quit. Like, you got to finish it. And it was at the point we had that. It was like a heat wave, and it was like literally 35 degrees, and that made it even harder. It was so hot. You couldn't like take on enough water. So it was brutal. I can't that, and then I was just absolutely done after it. I mean, I tried one before that. So I did the first one I entered, 100 miler, was in Wales, in Snowdon, and I didn't finish it. I just absolutely bottled it halfway. I mean, looking back, I was so annoyed when I bailed, because I could have carried on, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like I'd done 50 miles and I couldn't see the end. I couldn't see like another 50 miles. So I was just like, nah, it's not for me, this, I can't do it. So bottled that. And then obviously after that, I was like, I've got to finish one. So that's when we entered the one in the Alps and did that. And then obviously, like, no matter what, I was always finishing it, because I didn't want to like go through not finishing it again.
Yeah.
So it was kind of easier, because I was just never not going to finish it.
It's the whole Matt Fraser finishing second, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just like that. Yeah, that can't happen again. So yeah, I mean,
how long did it take? Like, how long did it take you in Switzerland?
30 hours. Yeah.
Is there a time cap on it as well?
I think time cap's about 45 hours maybe.
Okay. I was going to say, because I remember, I think it was in the David Goggins book, obviously he run fucking stupid races, didn't he? And I remember thinking, like, that's a tough cap, that. I mean, I think you're thinking about what you've got to do.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Did you pace it? Like, what was you like? Did you have like a strategy, like, I'm going to run, I don't know, 8-minute kilometers, or did you just go and just hope for the fucking best?
No, so like with Tom, he's like, over a 50k race, Tom would absolutely destroy me. He's really good at running, but he doesn't know how to pace. Like, that's something in CrossFit I was always good at. I knew how to pace pretty much every workout. I wouldn't like go out and die, or have much, like Tom Blay is like full on just die from number, from second one. But so the same with
on or off, Annie. Go.
Yeah, she's like boom. So it was like the same with 100-mile race. I kind of knew how fast I could go, and for the time Tom was with me, I was trying to pull him back because I knew he wanted to go too fast.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a long way. Like, it's mad. You do a marathon, you're like, Christ, I've got 3 more marathons to do. It is hard.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
Yeah.
I can see why you'd sort of, why you'd get to the end of that though and go, not training now, completed it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because the goal was to do another race in France. There's a race called UTMB. It's the biggest 100-mile ultramarathon there is, and like, I think about 3,000 people start the race. So it's like the London Marathon of 100-mile races. You're with people all the time. The crowd's massive. It's insane. So the goal was, but to be able to do that race, you've got to get points. You can't just rock up and do it.
Right.
So to get points, you have to run another ultramarathon 100-miler. So the goal was to do that and then do UTMB. But after the first, I was just like, I can't do another one. Literally, because the thing with it is, it's not just doing the race; it's the training you've got to do.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go out 3 times a week, run 10 hours 3 times a week. Snowed in the Lake District, in the gym. We were doing like 100k ski ergs. We were doing 100k watt bikes and pulling the sled for 3 hours. Literally, you don't understand how it was so bad.
It's not.
You can't keep it up.
Sounds like not fun training, is it? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it was quite fun a lot of the time, but you just can't keep that level of training up. Because if you look at all the other, like, I've got a photo of the start line, and Tom and I are literally like giants compared to everyone else.
yeah.
They're all, 60 kilos or less short. So they've no mass to carry for the whole time.
Yeah.
Where, I was still like 88 kilos. I had to lose a shitload of weight for the race.
The picture you looked ill. So obviously we're used to seeing you like quite road and stuff.
So I think I lost like 20. Stopping CrossFit, I lost about 20 kilos to be able to run 100 miles. Yeah. So that I had to though, because I tried to do both. So there was a point. I think the sweet spot was I ran 100k ultramarathon, and I was still like power cleaning 120 for a couple of reps. Like, so that was probably the sweet spot. I could do some CrossFit, run 100k, but then to get the 100 miler, I had to just totally cut out any weightlifting, all that kind of thing. It was just full on endurance. So yeah, it was totally different. So there is a sweet spot. You can do both, but yeah, it just being like naturally. Well, I'm tall, 6'3", and about 95 kilos. You just can't. It's like for your knees. They just don't take it over 100 miles.
I tried foolishly to run a marathon not so long ago.
Yeah.
With no prerequisite run training.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Let's see what happens.
Let's try it.
And halfway around, my body fell to bits.
Yeah.
Like my knees, I couldn't walk properly, and like aerobically, I was fine, but it sort of shone a light on the fact that you really do need to build up the miles and the conditioning on your actual body before you do anything like this. And that was only a marathon. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. That's the thing though. So like, we were running like 3 marathons a week just to train for it, and
crazy.
It was really good because I love training. Like when I was doing CrossFit, I'd be in the gym 6 hours just dicking about, and it was, you know what I mean? The time can just go as well, good. But so that wasn't a problem, but it's just like I say, you can't keep that up we did it for a year. So I mean, we were quite good. It took us a year to run a 100-mile ultramarathon from literally no running though. Like it wasn't though, we were runners and then got into it. It was from I was hating running to doing that. So it's quite cool. It's quite good fun.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll sort of like reside in the middle now? Like you've gone to that sort of extreme. you think you'd have sort of come back down and go, right, okay, well, I can still be quite good at running.
I don't think Andy's got a middle ground.
That's what.
No, he has. It's a lot higher than everyone else.
No, it's not that. I have, no matter what, I have to go like balls deep, like full on. It's either all or nothing. I can't do that. Like, I'll just do CrossFit 3 times a week and be, fit and healthy. It's either got to be fucking training every single day, or I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I do miss the CrossFit though, like, because that's the thing with the running. It's totally solidarity. You're just on your own, in your own head, and that's it. But with CrossFit, obviously, you're with people, you're dicking about, you're having fun. So I do miss that quite a lot.
Yeah, which is what we've been talking about, like, at the minute. Like, obviously, we're training on our own. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I've just done some rowing intervals, and I guarantee they were twice as unpleasant because I was on my own.
On your own, yeah. It's totally. It's
wall, just like.
Oh yeah, like when I used to train at Train in Manchester, there was loads of good guys over there, and it just made stuff so much easier because, you were all dying together. But if I had to train on my own, I'd just be like, oh yeah, can't be asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like now I've got some weights at home and I do 15 minutes of like bench press, and then I'm like, yeah, that's it, I'm done.
Is that why you got your shirt off? Was that like I've been?
No, I'm well, I've trained this morning actually, but yeah. No, I've always got my top off, haven't I?
You have to be fair. No, I've always got anything less.
Awesome.
So it's good.
I was just wondering, like, obviously when you was doing CrossFit and I've got to ask you about it because it was something that I thought was dead funny, to be honest with you. But
don't throw him under the bus.
I'm not. Not everybody appreciated it. So you left CrossFit Warrington before you went to train, and then there was some comments made in a Facebook group, and everyone got on you about it. I can't even remember what the comments are.
That's the thing, I can't remember.
I can.
Can you remember?
Can you remember? Nah.
I'll tell you after.
So,
I can't remember. I literally can't remember what happened there. I was probably winding someone up though.
You was.
You
was, yeah. So you were basically being a bit of a wind-up merchant, and then before we knew it, you were expelled from CrossFit Warrington, I believe.
I mean, I've been expelled from Train as well. Seriously. So what happened there was when I was into the running, they had air runners. Yeah. And they were right in front of this massive window, and it was like running in front of a magnifying glass. So I used to move them like back a bit so it wasn't in the thing, and the gym manager went mental at me. You can't move these, they're not for moving, all that. So I was like, all right, okay. They've got wheels on them, so they are for moving. It's not as though, they're going to break. But so I was like, all right, okay. And then I think it was the day that everyone does Murph. Is it 4th of July or Memorial Day, whenever that is? So they were all doing Murph. So I was running again on the air runner. And then I turned it like 90 degrees to watch everyone do Murph. And she came in again, saw me, and then she flipped and was like, right, you're not allowed in the gym ever again. So I was like, fuck hell. All right. But so yeah, I mean, I've been thrown out of 2 CrossFit gyms, which is probably not the best.
It's an achievement. You're the only
I know. I can't help myself though.
Then you went to
to be honest, it worked out quite well because that was the point that I went from doing CrossFit and running to just running. Right, because I was like, all right, I can't bother going anywhere else, so I'll just run, and it helped actually for the race because I was like, that's all I was doing, and I lost a load of weight, and so it was actually like a godsend. But yeah, it's probably not the best.
No, it's I was just curious about it because I always remember being like, everyone knows you're a wind-up merchant, and I just couldn't understand why maybe when Josh reminds me of what you said.
I mean, you have to. I mean, I don't mind. You can just tell everyone because I don't mind, but I literally can't remember what happened.
I'll tell you after. Don't worry.
Is it that bad?
It's not that bad, but I'm not saying it now.
Bloody hell! I mean, I'm trying to rack my brain. Was it to do with rowing or something?
I thought you called suck shit at CrossFit or something like that. I thought it can't. But
Wasn't quite that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it'd have been that, but
like what my point being is, like, I didn't ever understand at the time. I was like, I remember watching and going, "Ooh, Andy's in trouble." Like, but being like, it's kind of just like I sort of got it and was like, "Oh, Andy's just being Andy and he's having a laugh." You know?
No, yeah.
And if you'd have said that to me, I'd have been like, "Yeah, fuck off, Andy." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I just never really understood why it blew out of proportion. So I was hoping to find out why it blew out of proportion. But if none of us can remember properly what went on.
Well, Josh can, but he's not saying.
He's holding out on us.
He needs to tell. I think you should tell us.
Come on, Phil. Next question.
Yeah, go
on. Right, boo. I was hoping to get some proper good goss on the podcast.
I know, yeah. I mean, blame Josh.
Josh is ruining everything.
My fault.
So, I just wanted to ask as well, because you're affectionately known by Big Gaz, who's a friend of ours, as
oh yeah,
as Bruce Wayne.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, he calls you Bruce Wayne.
Oh, love Gaz. Have you had Gaz on here?
No, we've not yet.
Probably should do though.
Yeah,
you should 100% have him on here.
Yeah,
you know what? I'll tell him at your request he needs to come on.
But he's got to actually show up to some 6 a.m. classes.
Is he a bit flaky?
Yeah, he loves not showing up to those 6 a.m. classes. He books off at 5:11 every morning. Like,
oh, bloody hell.
On the dot.
Not good.
Bless him. We'll call him out. But I always remember as well, like, you always had nice cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first of all, and this is a bit of a random question, but what's the nicest car you've ever driven? Because I could ask most people, and like, my nicest cars I've ever driven is a fucking Merc, and that's pretty fucking boring. Whereas I think you could have a really good opinion on this.
I don't know. Nicest car I've ever driven. It was probably the Mercedes. It's got like the gull wings that open up.
Right. Okay.
Oh, is it the SLS?
SLS, yeah. It was at Goodwood Festival Speed, and I got to drive that up like the hill climb there, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
That was probably, I don't know. I've driven like a McLaren and stuff, but I don't know.
You like your Porsches, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I love Porsche. My car now, that's probably my favourite car I've ever had. I do love cars though.
Yeah,
it is good. To be honest, that's kind of what I've got into since stopping fitness, like track days and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So
you're going to Formula One now, then, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, just full on. No, but I mean that's kind of filled the void of training 20 hours a day. But yeah, I do love cars.
Cool. So, car wise?
Yeah.
What would be your dream motor?
Oh, bloody hell!
And again, I like to ask you these questions because I feel like you got a bit of a skewed perspective on it. Because like I'm sat here going, oh yeah, I'd like an Aston Martin. And I feel like you've probably driven an Aston Martin, and like, they're not that good.
Yeah, I've driven Aston Martin. I like Aston Martins. I mean, the thing with the dream car is though, like, what do you mean if like you win the Euro Millions or something?
You can pick a boat or a plane if that's better.
Yeah, if you want like.
No, I'm not into planes. I don't think.
If you
boats are pretty cool. I'd have a boat. I'd 100% have a boat. Yeah, I love water sports, so a boat would be cool. I mean, I think my favourite car is probably Bugatti.
Right. Okay. It's good.
So I'll just go. Yeah. Again, I just go balls to the wall. Best car.
The fastest car possible.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like it. Okay, So we're going to wrap up with a few fun questions to finish.
Okay.
First one, easy one, is a book or a film recommendation that everybody can watch. Or read.
Oh, that's killer though.
You can pick a couple. I'm not.
Best film.
It can be something you've watched recently, just a recommendation.
My favourite films are the three Batman films that
Of course
Christian Bale.
they
I know you just said Bruce Wayne, which is like proper bad, but I mean, they are the three best films ever. I love them. They're so good.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you know what? I recently rewatched all three of them just like back to back while I was.
Yeah, the mega. And like, I'm not a big reader, so I'd rather watch a film than read the book. Yeah. I'm not like the brightest spark, but
awesome. So
yeah.
Next question is, what would be your dream profession?
God, that's tough. That one.
This will be good to hear this, actually.
Yeah, I thought that. You know what?
Dream profession.
A friend of ours said electrician, and I was just like, wow, like
seriously.
Like you could be an astronaut, and he's like, I'd like to be an electrician.
Yeah, see,
people like what they like,
Astronaut would be up there if it was like interstellar astronaut, not just like going to
the moon.
Going to the moon would be cool, but not just going to like the space station. It has to be like full on sci-fi astronaut.
Of course.
I think but favorite. Oh God, it'd be some kind of like professional sports person. I think they've got it pretty dialed, if you like.
I think it'd suit you. What's it called? Is it wingsuits that they wear?
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, but I mean, that's just like, you're gonna die, aren't you? I'm not into that.
In 100-mile like run's probably not that safe, really. If we're gonna be,
it is. I mean, and I don't like planes either, so I'm probably not the best wingsuiter.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But I think it'd be like a professional athlete, and you could make money just doing whatever you wanted. What your favourite sport was, that would be probably the best.
Yeah, agreed. I think everybody wants to, as like, even people who claim not to like sport have that little bit of like.
Yeah, I mean, imagine.
I'd like to be really fucking good at something and just get paid for it.
The best in your.
I mean, yeah, imagine being the best in the world at like anything. It'd be class.
Yeah. I was on about this the other day because, and I feel like I bring it up on every podcast. But have you watched the Jordan documentary on Netflix?
No, I've not watched that.
Oh, right. So it's sick, and I think everyone should watch it.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, first episode's like good, but then it gets better and better because it's called The Last Dance on Netflix, and like, obviously Michael Jordan was the best in the world. Basketball.
Unreal.
And like,
wait till Andy starts though.
No, right?
Yeah. He doesn't know what's coming for him.
I do like basketball. It's quite good. I used to play it in school, but it's weird. Like in school, I always used to be the shortest person, like you two, and then and then like suddenly I grew and I was taller than everyone. So I wish I was tall in school, but yeah, I do like basketball.
Might have been good. You might have been a pro basketball player if you'd had a bit of a growth spurt.
Yeah, I think if I could have been pro at anything, I think if I'd have pushed for it, it would have been when I used to race at the velodrome. Right. I was quite good at that. Like I won quite a few races, but again, it was so fucking dangerous. Like you have no idea.
Fast though, aren't you? It's not.
That's the thing. So like there'd be 40 of you, literally shoulder to shoulder, doing 40 mile an hour, and it was like on a fixed gear bike, no brakes, and yeah, it got in my head. And then there was one of the world champions, a woman, Christina. She had a crash and is now paralyzed. And then after that, I was just like, yeah, this is just sketchy. Like, but I think if I'd have pushed for that, I could have probably done quite well in that.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just too dangerous.
Yeah. Fast. But yeah, so my point, like watching the Jordan documentary, people like just his attitude, and that's the one.
Yeah.
like it wasn't one of the interesting things you watch in the earlier ones, not to ruin it for everyone. Like talks about like there was one shot that basically made him believe that he could be the best in the world.
No, no way.
He was in his like college or something like that, or his high school, and he sort of like he was dying last 2 seconds of the game, and he hits the shot out of nowhere, and like obviously wins the game for his team. And after that game, he went, "Yeah, I can be the best in the world at this."
That's cool.
Imagine if Michael Jordan missed that shot.
Yeah, in the end, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He probably still would have been the best in the world, though.
Yeah, it's interesting though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I think all of those kind of people, like, I think they were always going to be the best. You know what I mean?
I actually saw a cool comment the other day as well. That was something Groves, his name is. He was Michael Jordan's like personal trainer basically, and he.
That'd be a good job, wouldn't it?
All right. Well, he was Michael Jordan and Kobe's personal trainer.
Oh, bloody hell!
You know what I mean?
Was he called Stu Bathgate?
Yeah, doing laps around the world. But yeah, like he was saying that loads of people wanted to be mentored by Jordan.
Yeah.
He literally said yeah to everyone, but the only person that ever stuck with it was Kobe.
Really?
Yeah, because most people realised that they couldn't keep that intensity up.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's mad.
Cool, interesting. Right,
I have to watch it.
Yeah, give it a watch. I think everyone should give it a watch. It's probably number one on Netflix by now because I feel like everyone's watching it. And I feel like it's a much more positive story than fucking Tiger King. So watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So off the back of that, if you could sit down and like interview or like learn from somebody for as long, like basically you got 24 hours with them. So and do whatever it is and like learn everything you can. Who would it be? Who would you spend that time with? It can be anyone that you want, dead or alive, famous or not.
Probably. Have you heard of a guy called Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Know the name.
So he's like an astrophysicist,
right?
And like he's one of them. He'll talk to you, and then you like your brain hurt. Like he doesn't obviously not talk to me, but if you watch his videos and like your brain's just hurting because he's talking about like the universe and stuff. But it is so cool.
What's his
like
name?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's having a quick Google there.
Yeah, so Google says he's an American astrophysicist, cosmologist, planetary scientist, author.
Yeah,
wow,
insane though. Like, watch Joe Rogan's podcast. He's done a couple with him, and like, you just like that. Oh my god, you can't even. You have to like pause it every 5 minutes just to like have a little think about what he's saying. It's like it's mental, but yeah, because it's. I mean, it's so cool, all that kind of thing that. But you just can't even understand it when they start talking about the universe and all that.
Yeah,
probably him though.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
looks a cool dude actually. Like when you told me what he did, I was kind of thinking of like a Stephen Hawking type of person. But
no, yeah, he's dead cool. Like he makes like science and all that quite fun, so it's pretty cool.
Sick. Yeah, awesome. Right, Andy, that's it from us. So
awesome.
Thank you very much for coming on, lad. We really appreciate it. I'd like
to see you.
But I've got to go and pick my daughter up, I'm afraid. So I have to wrap it up. But first, before we go, just want to do the usual. Then thank all of the NHS staff, key workers, everybody that's working hard at this time where we get to bum off and just make podcasts. We're not just doing that, by the way. All our members sat there going, "You fucking what? What are you doing?" Sorry. So obviously, big thank you to all those people that are keeping the world turning. And obviously, if you enjoyed this podcast, please like, comment, share, post on Facebook, usual deal. Subscribe to YouTube where possible, and it's available. All our previous podcasts are available on all major podcast providers, iTunes, and all the rest of it. If you enjoyed this one, we mentioned a couple of people. I think you'll definitely enjoy the one with Tom Blair, and you'll probably enjoy the ones with Matt Heaton as well.
You've had Matt on?
Yeah, Matt on.
Oh, you need to do one where we get all of us on at the same time, if that's the thing.
Oh,
like
yeah. Just let you all go, yeah!
Like, no, when we come out of lockdown, we'll do it like all in person, all of us together. That would just be hilarious. Imagine.
We'll do that.
I can make that happen. We'll all get in the game.
We should do it like a little training session though, and like
we'll let Tom beat as well.
That'd be class.
We'll let Tom Blay beat everybody, and we'll all just
Tom Blay's never beaten me in his life, so we'll just leave it there.
We're not doing the workout unless it's a 100-mile run.
Yeah, that's it. Bloody hell.
Yeah, be sick. So yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, defo check those ones out. There'll be ones for you to be interested in. And again, thanks very much for being on, guys. Peace.